right, this is FOSA TV channel. We're back on the journey of talking to farmers, just like we're always doing, going around the country to talk to farmers because agriculture is the in thing in Nigeria right now. And again, once again, we are with Agbeladun. You saw their anniversary. You saw what they did. You've seen a lot of things coming out from that group. Today, I am with the CEO and, of course, some members of the group. Mr. Franklin, please come and talk to the camera. These people we're seeing behind us now, who are they, please?
Yes, we are privileged to have in our midst the Director of Agriculture, Federal Ministry, and Food Security.
That's Mr.
Akim Obudeko.
All right. Nice meeting you, sir. And yes, sir.
Sunday.
Okay, and then every other person.
Some of my members.
Yes. Okay, so, sir, you are on a visit to the interiors. Please, let's pan the camera. Let them see that this is truly interiors. And it's not easy coming all the way from the city to this interior. So we're going to be asking Mr. Franklin just one question. How was it possible for us to take a trip into the interiors? Sir, please just tell the world about the road network, the connectivity to this place right now.
Well, if I were to use a word, I would say it's a bit turbulent.
Yes.
The road is not good enough for farmers. And the only thing we say is that we are appealing to government, particularly the newly elected local government administrators or whatever chairman. They should do the needful. Help farmers. The main infrastructure farmer needs is good road network, so we can bring food to the town
easily,
in order to change the narratives on food insecurity in the state and Nigeria at large.
You can hear it from Mr. Franklin, because this is not just it. We are going to be bringing the clip of the bad roads into the interiors. And you can imagine what farmers go through on a daily basis when the good road network is not there. Imagine carrying loads and loads of crops from the farm and still the road is not good. So it's not a sweet thing. Yes, Nigeria is challenging every Nigerian right now to go back to the lands. But how about the federal government, the state government, the local government chairman thinking about the road network to these places so that food can be so easily taken to the cities and towns and every part of the country. My name is Anita Aluya. Keep watching. You will be seeing more clips in and around this visit into the interiors by Agbeladun Group. Nigerians, this is what we're talking about. This is part of the interiors. And then imagine somebody carrying a basin of cassava, very heavy. And then you want the person to start climbing this kind of road. Please come with me, my cameraman. Show them, yes, because it's so slopey. It's slopey and it's going up. This is ascending. This is not descending. This is ascending road. And then the person carries the basin of cassava. And then we start climbing. Climbing and climbing and climbing. Over how many kilometers of road? Okay, imagine. Bikes are very scarce. This is one coming this way. But after this one, you can never see another one until another 1 hour's time. Imagine how they are going with this bike. Just think of somebody, a farmer with basin of cassava or tubers of yams on his bike. How is he going to manage this? So that's what we're talking about. We're really going to be bringing this to the rest of the world. Federal government, state government, local government, this is for you. Start thinking of how to fix this for Nigerian farmers so that a lot of foods will be made available, because without good road network, there won't be the kind of results you are looking for. It's not just telling the farmers to go back to the lands, but also giving them good road network. My name is Anita. Keep watching. from the track record we have of you, you are a professor of agriculture. And agriculture happens to be the in thing in Nigeria right now. Even the federal government is trying to push Nigerians back to the lands. Moving forward, sir, just quickly tell us how to start this journey, how to get to where we are going to, and what to do next.
Well, I think the problem, from what you have just asked, is the very fact that people even didn't think that agriculture meant anything into the economy. And people even send their children to school to ensure that they do not go back to farming. I knew my father used to say it, to say, our hand is hard when I try to shake his hand and I try to squeeze my eyes. But incidentally, before he died, I had more farms than himself. But at that time, because of the rigor, because of the amount of distance that are around farming, that doesn't make them attractive.
Yes.
You don't find too many people. So, for instance, now when say we want the youth to go to agriculture, who are the youth that we are talking about? Is it the youth that the father is training in the institution, hire this year for him to be able to come around to become director in the Ministry of Agriculture or whatever? That you are now still saying is the youth that is going to go into agriculture? So this is part of the problem we have in the place, and it's difficult even defining the youth. Whether it is somebody who is married, somebody who is not married. There was a joke where, for instance, somebody who had a grey hair stood up and they said, we are talking to the youth, and he stood up and he said, you are not the youth because you have grey hair. And he said, no. Then they said, okay, what is the definition of a youth? He said, a youth is an able-bodied person without job. So because of that one, you find it difficult to say that you can't present agriculture in such a way to say this is an attractive one. I had worked in the university system for over 40 years as lecturer, as student, and everything in the place. And you find out that you train people in agriculture, in agronomy, in animal science, and so on, who didn't go back one day to do agriculture. They are back in the banks, they are back in the customs, they are where there is money. Because everybody has ever thought that any farmer you look at the place, in fact, they used to say that if you say somebody is a Raoko, or a farmer, they think it is identical. Araoko, for instance, is not supposed to be a farmer. It's a foolish person. Whereas Agbe is farmer. So there's a difference, but people don't know. And because if you look at the farmer itself coming into the society, the place, he doesn't wear the normal type of clothes you are going to wear. He wears tattered clothes and so on. And people try to look at it to say that the farmers are always like that. We even say in Yoruba that the cloth that makes the money in the farm doesn't come to town. It says that they are mainly ranks, that you find people who are supposed to be farmers wearing and then coming to town. All right? And then up to today, even when the government is so happy and they have said the government wants to do this and happen, how many farmers have they given honors? The merit award, national honor for being farmers in the place. How many of us? In fact, we also say, we also in academics, how many people are professors who are OFR, MR, and so on? They are giving to people in the military, in every place as well, without us, which means we are not doing anything. So the farmer is not really being recognized. The farmer is there for him to be able to say they produce and so on. He gets the least out of the value of whatever he produces. The cocoa he sells now for 13,000 naira per kilogram here is turned into chocolate in Switzerland and so on that one, and it's about almost 10 times what he bought in Nigeria. So we have a plethora of problems, but that does not mean that we cannot come back to say, because one, it's an industry that grows every day. It's an industry that cannot be killed any given time.
Yes.
Any given point it will grow. The French physiocrats said the most productive industry in the world is agriculture. And they said why? They said when you plant one seed of maize, it brings out a cob, and the cob has 1,000 seeds. They said, so what business in the world can you find that can multiply itself 1,000 times in the place? So what we tend to do back in the university now is combining both the agriculture with entrepreneurship. to say that, well, it's not only that we want to go to agriculture, it's only that you go into the farm to go and cultivate yam and so on. You can also be a processor of such things in the place. Is that okay?
Right.
So that the wastages we have in the yam, in the cassava, in the plantain and so on can be turned by this youth into something else that they can export. I've just told you now, for instance, that I am a herbalist and that I deal in some of the herbs. And the herbs they are plants. And there's nothing that is added to what we are doing. This afternoon we got an order for more than about, say, 5 cartons that is going to Britain in another 1 or 2 days' time. Is that okay?
Yes.
So we now try to see whether the youth can come in such a way that they come into a place where it is not too difficult for us to be able to make money. And then, of course, then they can then integrate backwards, having made some money somewhere in the place, maybe processing oranges, for instance, or processing plantain into plantain flour and so on and that one. Then they can make quite a bit of some money, and then they can sit back and say, let me invest in something. Some of the things that I did, why I did not regret it, is that I made money by being consultant to people, to organizations, to international organizations and so on, apart from my salary. Is that okay? So I didn't need to borrow. I didn't need to borrow. And that's why yesterday when somebody was saying that some people in the north are already getting information about the student loan, and the students should go there to go and acquire. I said, you don't need a loan. Your father can pay your school fees. What do you need the loan for? Whether it is, they say, because it's not free.
Yes,
it's
the
not
loan
free.
is not free.
It's not free, but because people are coming and say they are already getting, you are getting. There's no way. You are there in the place. They say it is government money. I say it's not government money. Government does not have money. The money that government has is our own. My own, yours, and so on. And we give it to them. Go and use it on our behalf. Sometimes even as an economist, I try to see, if you say they are giving 60 billion to Ondo State, for instance, for something. Why don't you look at us and start giving us the money? Let everybody just stay in the house there, get the money. But of course, it cannot be economically. Is that okay? Because you have to do certain things to create employment, to create the development and so forth.
Okay,
so
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir, to interrupt you there. Quickly, let us also see if you have anything to tell our government on how to make farming more attractive to the younger generation, one, and then how they can actually help farmers, for instance, in terms of road connectivity, in terms of mobility and the rest of them, because right now everywhere is so tough.
I wish that we have a situation where we can ask people in the parliament, is that okay, in the senate and so on,
yes,
to go and try farming
themselves.
You see, because when you are saying that they should encourage them, you must know that they know the problems of the farmers. They don't know. They don't know. Even when they come into their constituencies and they come to everywhere here, they do not see the real farmers. The people they are seeing are the people in the congresses, farmers congress, leaders congress. They are not seeing the farmers. So they don't know even the farmers, what the farmers are going through. So I said they have this and so on. And I said, my colleague here was just saying that maybe we don't need the government. I said we need the government. One, because making roads should not be part of the individual farmer something. It should be what the government should do for us. It is our money to be used properly for us to be able to grade the roads.
Yes.
Is that okay? So, and that's it. So, which means that they have to, in their own, being able to make sure that they can have the distance. I just give an example to say that people plant plantains on the distance, so and they cannot move them into the market every day or every market day. They have to go and use Okada riders to go and take this thing for the place, and those they charge quite a lot. So by the time it gets to the market there, we discover that why the prices are too high, and then the common people cannot do. Yesterday or day before yesterday, yes, I went to the market to go and buy bole. I want to eat bole, and I got to the place, very fine bole and so on. I said, how much? He said 500 naira, and I felt so bad that when the salary of a person is 30,000-40,000 naira, one bole is 500 naira. How is he going to manage the thing in the place with something that should be more than about 100 naira for him to do? So the government is actually needed, one, to understand what the farmer needs, to be able to get people who also love the farmers to contact, to work with the farmers, not politicians that are there just to make their money And then, of course, as soon as they leave, they forget the this and so on. And then to make sure that whatever may be the reason, maybe subsidies and so on, that one for the farmers to be able to increase their productivity and then let them make money. For instance, now we have an artificial price for cocoa. Is that okay? One, because of so many factors. One, the cold in Europe. Is that okay to generate heat? Or maybe the also production is going down in certain areas in the cocoa growing world. But we are in trouble because what is going on is not too realistic. And we have told now that the Chinese are already establishing in some of the islands in the Pacific and so on that one and growing cocoa using the knowledge of people from Ghana. They employ Ghanaians and the Ghanaians are teaching them, and the Chinese are already trying to process cocoa to sell even to Europe.
Okay, so now, sir, that was how they said the Malaysians came into Nigeria to buy the palm kernel front seeds, yes, from us. And now today, Malaysia is one of the largest oil-producing country. Now the Chinese are coming to buy cocoa from us, or cocoa seeds.
No, they are even establishing cocoa plantations
already
in Pacific areas of the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
So, bringing it back to Nigeria, what would be your advice to Ondo states that are known for to be having a good number of cocoa seeds in their states?
See, when I was in government,
yes,
that's okay. We identified quite a bit of the problems. One, cocoa farms are becoming old and unproductive.
Okay.
Farmers are also becoming old.
Okay.
There are no new lands. There are no new lands to put new ones. And then for us to be able to establish in some of the marginal lands, it will require irrigation. Because if you plant 1,000 seeds during the planting season and you do not irrigate, you will lose 50% of it by the next season. So what the government can do,
yes,
is one, in the first place, they know that we have very isolated places. And as I told you just now when I was discussing, that on Adeduro, for instance, going to Adeduro, that on right and left of the bridge, the new bridge you made there are fertile land for rice, fertile land for fish, and so on, and nobody is occupying it. So attention should go into that place for us to have some areas where you can have large-scale production of everything. You see, when you produce like the rice they produce in the Luji here, we can finish it in about 2 weeks. Is that okay? Just because it's just by the riverside, by the floodplains, and so on. Whereas what we need to do is, when we went to China, we got to one place, and we said, how many acres do we have here? I said, 100 acres. And then they said, how long have you been farming this? They said, come, 100 years. And then we said, why? You don't know what it is? Well, when you look at it, you think the sky and the farm, the taper, in the sense that it is all rice in the place. So except you go there, we eat rice. Apart from the gari now that I was asking people here, almost everybody has gari in his house. Definitely also rice. Some people are having rice in the place, and how many of us are growing the rice, and so forth. So there are quite a lot of the government have people who are interested. During the Agagun regime, what we did was to identify people who know certain areas. If you are in industry, we know somebody who is in industry. If you are in agric, look somebody in agric who can tell you. Somebody in education to come and tell you. Somebody in infrastructure come and tell you. Is that okay? Because you don't assume to know everything. You must have somebody who will know more than others. Well, I was annoyed one day, and I was annoyed in the council when talking to them in the council, because I told them, I said, don't keep your honey inside the fridge. I said, keep it there, because otherwise it will congeal. And then somebody just came, the deputy governor, and so and said, I put my I put my honey inside this and it congeal. I said, Mr. Your Excellency, I said, I told you last Wednesday that don't put your honey in the fridge, because it will congeal. This and so on, and then you say the honey is not good. So those are the things that happen in government and so on, that except you actually know the information. Then the governor came and said, why are you annoyed? He said, I shouldn't be annoyed with anybody in the council. He said, because we brought you in to tell us what they didn't know. So I was happy.